Reincarnation the modern way. Reincarnation the modern way is about duplicating rather than reusing the same thing. It's like comparing the creation of multiple documents on a computer versus a typewriter. So each person is born somewhere first and then lives on in other places after the death of the body. Then, at some point in a person's afterlife, the person decides to reincarnate on Earth on their other home planet, or maybe on an unfamiliar planet. Living in the afterlife and reincarnating are different things. Living in the afterlife is one thing, and reincarnating is something one could do in addition to living a regular afterlife. Reincarnating is like taking a little trip and being away from your regular life for a while, and then returning back to it later. Each body which is born on Earth or any other planet comes with a soul. It's a package deal, body and soul. So if someone else wants to visit Earth or another planet by reincarnating, they have to share a body with a soul which is already in the body. So, for example, imagine that you are Alex. You were born on Earth about 6,000 years ago. You died after living out your life on Earth and then went into the afterlife. You lived for many years on some other planets, which are actually in the spiritual realm, but they seem like regular planets in the physical realm. They're just much better. So, as Alex, you were evolving for 6,000 years now. Your personality has expanded through many experiences and encounters and lessons. You have become much more versatile person compared to a human being on Earth. You are much more than a human being. You have evolved so much, you have learned so much. And now you want to visit Earth again and to see how it is to live during this time. So you know about the babies which are being born currently on Earth, and you pick one, and you join its soul. And you live a life as this person. Let's say it's Kate. When you, Alex, are joined with Kate, you function as one unit. Some of the desires of Kate sometimes come true, and at other times, some of the desires of Alex come true. But to both of you, Kate's soul and Alex's soul, it feels that it's you. It's your desires. It's your actions. You feel as though you are this person. You're it. You are just one. In good relationships, people influence each other, grow together, and become more as one, more similar to each other. This happens to Kate's and Alex's souls. They both gain characteristics of one another. In a human body, there are many things which function as a unit. So even Kate's soul was not just one thing. Kate's soul consists of many different subunits which function as one unit. But sometimes they have conflicts, and Kate wants one thing but actually does another thing. Sometimes the subunits don't agree with each other, and there is inner turmoil. So imagine that Kate's soul consists of 10 subunits, and then imagine that Alex's soul consists of 8 subunits. So when they join together, then all of these subunits start to function as one overall unit. It's easier to understand this when you think of a soul as a computer program, or as a set of modules which work together and make up one big overall module or program. So when you add some extra modules, which come from Alex's soul, then you just expand Kate's soul program and make it bigger and different. Here is the part about the modern reincarnation. When Alex's evolved soul, which lived for 6,000 years already, wants to reincarnate, it can't put its huge evolved program into a human body. A human body is like Windows 98. and Alex's soul is like a program which could only run on Windows XP. So in order to run Alex's program, which is designed for Windows XP, on Windows 98, you have to modify it and simplify it and modify the code to fit the environment of the one you're going into. So one comparison you could say it's like taking Microsoft Word program and reducing it to Microsoft WordPad. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but WordPad looks like Microsoft Word, but it has very limited functionality. It only does a few small things. It's like a simplified version of the whole complete Microsoft Word program. So in this case, it's kind of similar, is that Alex's soul is simplified into this little program which could fit into a human body if you see a human body as a program or like an environment. So you take Alex's soul and you put it into environment and you have to modify it to fit the environment. So Alex's soul cannot reduce itself and cease to exist as a big program and stick itself into Kate's body. It can't do that. So what happens is Alex's soul creates a duplicate of itself, but not a complete duplicate, but a simplified little version of itself, modified to fit the environment of Kate's body. So then, when Kate's body dies, Alex's program gets reintegrated into the overall Alex soul or program, the evolved one, and Alex-Kate combination becomes a part of evolved Alex. In this way, Alex's soul has expanded its evolved self even more. It added yet another personality to itself, yet another extra thing which it did not have before. But what about Kate's soul? Well, we'll get back to it. Let's talk about one more thing. One of the spirit guides was giving some information, and he was saying that not all souls choose to reincarnate. However, they have an ability to share experiences with each other. So for example, there is a group of friends, and one of them went on Earth and reincarnated and came back, and this program of this Earth body got added into his overall soul, overall program, and now this friend has the experiences of living on Earth. But his friends want to know, how was it? Share with us. And instead of just telling them how it was, a friend may choose to share that part of himself with them, create a kind of a duplicate of that little self, that little personality, that little modified, simplified program, and put a copy into his friends. And then they can experience the same thing he experienced. The reason you cannot just download memories from one to another, it's like, let's say you have a game and you were playing a game and you collected some data. Yeah, you built some things. You can't take this data, these houses that you built in a game, and just put them into a different game. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. In order for another game to get your houses, you have to get some of this code, some of this programming from this game, and you have to incorporate it into the other game. That's the only way you could bring the houses from this game into another. It's the same with experiencing and sharing memories from someone's reincarnation. You have to actually copy that program, that consciousness, the one that experienced the life, into the person in order for them to be able to process your experiences correctly. Otherwise, the experiences and the data just will not be able to be processed correctly. This other friend will not feel the same things he felt, the other person, when he experienced these things, because the data of experiences will be interpreted differently in a friend's computer, the brain, unless this program with experiences altogether gets copied, and that friend then is like he reincarnated also. So this is how people don't have to all reincarnate, but can still experience reincarnations. So now, getting back to Kate, what happens to Kate? Kate's soul. Well, remember how when Alex was born 6,000 years ago, and then he went on to evolve and to live on other planets in the spirit realm? Kate's soul will do the same thing. And Kate's soul will go on to live in the spirit realm and to evolve. And at some point, Kate's soul will want to maybe reincarnate on some planet or on Earth in the future. And then Kate's soul will create its own simplified little version of itself and stick it into someone else's body. And then that little part of Kate will get reintegrated back into the evolved Kate overall self. And then it's like Kate has reincarnated and experienced that life. So the purposes of reincarnation, there are different ones. One is to expand itself on oneself. Another is just to explore and have fun, to gain experiences, to remember old things. And some come here to help, like maybe Jesus did. He came here to help others. So some people who come here for that purpose, they, ever since they're children, they feel this calling within them. It's like there is this thing they need to do, they want to do, and their life is shaped towards that goal to make sure it happens. Other people just kind of aimlessly wander the earth, do whatever they want, not sure what to do. Those are probably that came here just for exploration and for fun.